Economies rarely grow in a perfectly straight line. If you track real GDP over time, you'll see natural waves of expansion and contraction. We call this the business cycle. When that wave heads downward, things get serious. Cambridge defines a recession very specifically. It is a reduction in real gross domestic product, or GDP, for more than 2 successive quarters. To see how examiners test this, let's look at this data table from a recent paper 1. We have 4 quarters of real GDP, $100 billion, up to 101, down to 99, and finally $98 billion. Notice the exact timing. Growth goes negative when GDP drops from 101 to $99 billion in quarter 3. Then it falls again to $98 billion in quarter 4. Because we have exactly 2 successive quarters of falling real GDP, the condition is officially met at the end of quarter 4. Identifying a recession requires meeting this objective, data-driven mathematical threshold. Let's look at what causes that data to drop. Recessions are typically triggered when total demand or business investment falls off completely, often due to an external shock or a sudden drop in consumer confidence. For example, central banks might set high interest rates. This makes borrowing highly expensive, which immediately suffocates consumer spending and forces businesses to scale back their output. With lower output, firms start shutting down. This creates a sharp spike in cyclical unemployment, throwing thousands out of work and instantly increasing the government's burden to pay out unemployment benefits. The damage then travels straight to the state's finances. As incomes and corporate profits vanish, tax revenue plummets. The government is left staring at a severe budget deficit, forcing them to cut vital public services like education. What begins as minor consumer hesitation rapidly compounds into factory closures, mass job losses, and a severely restricted national budget. If you were the government facing this crisis, how would you fix it? Paper 2 often asks you to discuss whether reducing income taxes is a guaranteed way to end a recession. In theory, the logic holds up. Lower taxes give consumers more disposable income. They take that extra money, increase their spending at retail stores, and boost total demand. Factories fire back up to meet that demand, and GDP grows. But consider the individual perspective. If the government gives you a tax cut while you are terrified of losing your job next week, do you actually go out and buy a new television? When consumer confidence is critically low, anxious citizens save that tax cut as a safety net rather than spending it. This breaks the chain of recovery, leaving the economy stagnant despite the policy intervention. Macroeconomic policies rely on the psychological state and the confidence of the real people they target. Before you head into your exam, let's clear up 2 major examiner-reported errors. First, a recession means that total output, the GDP, is actively shrinking. It does not mean a country is producing zero output. Second, differentiate a recession from deflation. A recession is a drop in the actual volume of goods produced. Deflation is a drop in the general price level of those goods. They are 2 completely distinct metrics. From understanding the mathematical drop of the business cycle, to tracking the destruction of the government budget, to navigating the complexities of tax policy, you now have the complete, interconnected system required to master this topic.
Fundoo Tutor is a personalized learning platform that helps students succeed in Cambridge, IB, and other international curriculums with expert mentorship, structured learning support, and engaging resources.